Introduce you to a true British sporting hero of previous vintage, Dennis Andries. He didn't exactly rush to get into world-class Andries. In fact, he hadn't achieved very much, even well into his 30s as a pro fighter. But since then, Dennis Andries has been making up for it. Now, the three-time WBC World Light Heavyweight champion is campaigning at cruiserweight. And yes, of course, he's still looking for titles. Andries' motto might just be, been there, done that. A veteran in total of 6 British title fights, 2 European title fights and 9 world title fights spread over a 16-year career as a professional. It's a record that stands comparison with the very best. He's been in with the best. We will never forget his meetings with Harding for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Bravery is his middle name. So he's campaigning as a cruiserweight, and even now he's fired up for more success.
Well, Dennis Andries, 3 times a world champion, you're now campaigning as cruiserweight, and up against this fellow Saleta, who has a reasonable reputation, the Pole. Now, just tell us what your thoughts about this fight are, because you've been brought in at quite late notice. Tell us what you think's going to happen out there tonight.
Well, I think I'm a tomato can, so they're going to find out that I bite iron, I break steel, so he's going to know what's all about tonight. There'll be no joking around tonight, not at all. I'm in a good mood to hurt somebody.
Saleta, of course, is managed by Angelo Dundee. Obviously, they put your name forward to him, and he agreed it. They obviously think you're there for the taking.
Yeah, well, as you know, this fight here is a quick thing. You know, it's a thing where they rushed it all together. I think this guy was training for me where I was not training for him. It's kind of, they're trying to surprise me, but they're going to get the biggest surprise of all. I'm going to take no prisoners tonight.
You've still got ambitions.
You got that right.
You're sounding in a pretty mean mood, Dennis.
Hey, this is it's a hurting game, so let's let the beating begin now.
Okay, Dennis, nice talking to you. Have a good one tonight.
Okay.
Cheers. Well done. Good stuff.
In dark locking horns once more with Dennis Andries. They've been doing that for a few years, and he gets harder as he gets older. Saleta, the young Pole, is the opponent tonight. Let's find out if the youngster has learned a few things or whether the old master still has it. We join it in round 5.
This is the 5th round. The old stager Dennis Andries in the blue trunks. Certainly the Saleta camp feel their man is now almost ready, almost cooked for a world title attempt. It's better from Andries, doubling up on the jab. Oh, nicely done by Saleta, switching attack from body to head.
Isn't it? Good jabs, landing nice and solid.
He's winning the fight at the moment, the Pole.
He is. I think the other rounds are close, but he's ahead on each of the rounds. He's got the more control. He's using that jab well. He's got the composure. He knows exactly what he has to do to beat this man. Really, he's just got to keep this sort of work up.
Jab and move from Saleta. Andries needs to cut him off at the corners. Saleta there. Those punches didn't land from Andries. Just a bit of blood still from Saleta's mouth. Saleta was a former kickbox champion. He says he was 2 times world kickboxing champion. And didn't fight under the Queensberry rules until he was 23. He's only 26 now.
Got to try and get closer to Saleta, and he's got to sustain the pressure more. It's pretty much single shots. He's got to try and get Saleta on the ropes and really go to town.
And all the time on the outside, Saleta is letting go with the jab and just keeping Andries off balance as he prepares the attacks. Andries, who really has been involved in some quite memorable battles, the 3 with Jeff Harding particularly, the Australian, who still holds the world title. WBC version, that is. Oh, the right hand, and then a right counter from Saleta there. He just won't let Andries steal the initiative from him. That was a really good exchange there between the two of them right at the end of the round. That's round here. Andries has got some work to do. I've got him quite significantly behind on points at the, after 5. It's due to go 12 rounds, by the way, for these WBC international titles, which are quite a useful stepping stone for young fighters on the way up. I remember Herbie Hyde held one before winning the WBO heavyweight title at the weekend. Chris Eubank was another, of course.
Again, Saleta's using the same shots that have worked for him throughout this fight. That long jab mixes the hook up well, and occasionally that straight, sharp right hand. He's doing very well, keeping moving side to side, trying to keep as much as he can in the center of the ring. And he's in full control at this moment.
He's trying to rough him up, but Saleta is outboxing him at the moment. Andries just can't seem to unsettle him, can't maintain any real pressure. Always the possibility that things could change, but kicked off again there. And 1 or 2 ripples of applause for Saleta's smart boxing there from the back of the hall.
Yes, he landed with a nice little combination there, including a right uppercut, which jolted Andries' head back.
Looks like Angelo Dundee might have another promising prospect here in Saleta. Dundee, of course, the man who piloted the great Muhammad Ali and later Sugar Ray Leonard for a time. Not to mention a few others like Willie Pastrana. They got close enough to land a jab. That hasn't happened very often.
Andries is still getting a bit closer. I'm not sure if Saleta is allowing him now, because now he's starting to mix it up a little bit, and we see him throw a couple of hooks. He's starting to have a go back at Andries.
In his last fight, Andries was involved in a real farce on the Nigel Ben Henry Whartonville when he was due to fight an 8-rounder which got cut to a 6-rounder, and then a man turned up at ringside to say the license had run out and it was reduced to 4 rounds. Fancy having to fight 4-rounders at 40. 7th round. So far I've been unable to give Andries anything much more than a share of a round or two. Saleta in cozy control of things. Got through with the right hand there. Andries, no score there.
Yeah, Saleta's getting a little keener on standing close with Andries. He's landing some good shots of his own, but he's got to be careful. It's got to be what Andries wants.
Looking to tee off, but not landing cleanly. That's a good right to the body from Andries. And just for a moment, Saleta's mouth just beginning to hang open like he might be getting tired. May only be an illusion. His hands just beginning to drop down by his side as well, Saleta.
Yeah, and he's not throwing as many left jabs. You can't forget that weapon.
Has had 12 rounders before, though, and won them. Now, this is Andries' best round so far.
It is, yes, quite surprised Saleta has done very little this round, so I think he's starting to feel the effects.
And there's still quite a long way to go. We're only in the 7th. You'd think, wouldn't you, it would be the man who was older by 14 years who you'd have to worry about the stamina with.
Yes, but Dennis is getting through with a lot more shots this round. Still trying them wild swings from way outside.
You'd think it very doubtful that Saleta would stop Andries. Only 2 men have done that in his previous 57 fights. Good right uppercut from Saleta, and the right hand that followed. Well, he hadn't done too much in the round until then, Saleta. But I still think that was Dennis Andries' round.
Yes, I agree with you there, Ian. I think he did the right thing. Saleta came at the end of the round trying to throw a combination to catch the judge's eye, but I think it was too late. Andries had done the better work there. He kept walking forward, and Saleta did very little, so maybe the writing's on the wall and he's getting tired.
10 years since he was British champion, Dennis Andries. Saleta getting the toweling down. I wonder what they're saying in that corner, right? There were signs there that he just might be tiring a little.
Yes, well, I think they'll definitely want him to pick up his jab. There's some of Saleta's work at the end of the round where he scored with a couple of good uppercuts from long range. But I think the rest of the round belonged to Dennis Andries.
We still have this man significantly in front, though, after 7. 8th round. I'm sure they've asked Saleta just to pick up the tempo again, and he started this round more positively.
Yes, I think the corner would have given him a bit of a tone too. Then he's done very well in this fight, and then the last round he just eased off the pressure on Andries, just put himself in pace, and obviously got a bit of confidence, started swinging that big right hand a lot more. So Saleta's got to take the centre of the ring and use that jab again.
Saleta wins, it'll certainly be the most significant name on his record to date. This is 19th fight. If he's going anywhere, it's the kind of fight he has to win as well. Andries, though, be warned, is one of those roughhouse brawlers who just never knows when he's beaten. He'll keep on coming forward all the time.
Saleta getting back to his work again. He's using that jab a lot more this round, trying to pick up with a few of the shots as well.
He's just gone back to the tactics that he was using previously, and that's a good cluster of punches from him. He put them together well.
There's a nice little combination off the ropes. This is better.
But Andries himself knows how fights can turn around. When he defended in his first fight with Jeff Harding, he was winning the fight by a long, long way for the first half of it, and Harding came back to stop him. Whether we'll see a turnaround like that here must be doubtful at the moment, because Saleta has been largely in charge of things.
The big problem that Dennis is having is he's not getting his shots off in combination because of Saleta's reach.
As it the same as they enter this, the 9th round. What can Andries do about things here? He's vowed to upset Saleta. He was really fired up beforehand. There was no question of him turning up here just to be the opponent, to become another name on the record of a rising young talent. He wanted the win and he thought he'd get it, but at the moment every indication that he's not going to.
Yes, if Andries is going to cause an upset, he's really got to pick up the pace. He's got to find another gear from somewhere. He's got to try and get past that left jab and really try and roll all over Saleta. Saleta has the perfect weapon, because every time Andries gets set to throw a big hook, Saleta sticks the jab in his face. Just puts them all off balance.
Right to the body from Andries, but Saleta again, as he's done every time Andries has got through, really has found quite a quick counter punch of his own, and he's just dominating the fight at range, isn't he, with that jab, raking it out, rapier-like. Doesn't look a stiff or ramrod jab, but it's scoring, scoring, scoring all the time.
It is actually, it's a very good jab, because it's very relaxed. Just goes out nice and easy and smooth.
Well, 1 or 2 shouts from the back of the hall of "Come on, Dennis." Truth, it's not been the kind of fight to really set the pulse racing, because a lot of the rounds have been pretty sameish, with Saleta dominating at range and Andries' successes being sporadic, to put it mildly.
Yes, I don't think Saleta's really went out in this fight to be eye-catching and look brilliant. He's went out to do a job. He knows he's in with a tough fight and a very experienced professional, and he's just went to fight the perfect fight. And at the moment he's doing everything right.
To pick Andries off from all kinds of angles now, Saleta. Andries weighing in at 13 stone 6 3/4 tonight. That's a full stone up from his days as a light heavyweight, remember. Well, he's old enough to know the score, and the score says that he's a long way behind. He must realise that, Dennis Andries. The question is, does he have anything in the tank to change things around?
He's got to try and pull something very big out. And I think Saleta's fighting the perfect fight to stop him, because he's just got that so big of a height and reach advantage. Andries just can't get into the fight. Andries has really got to put a big effort in to try and back him up against the ropes and just keep throwing lots of shots. He's got to try and throw them big hooks in clusters.
Saleta there, whose wife gave birth to a baby daughter, Nicole, 4 weeks ago. Congratulations to both of them. Round 10. Saleta, the American-based Pole in the red shorts. Pole by nationality and Pole by build as well. Andries dreams of getting another chance to become a world champion again, but have to be honest about it and say on this form he looks quite a way off.
He does. Saleta's controlling the fight very well, and I don't think Saleta's good, but he's not quite ready for the World Championship picture just yet.
As with so many contests, it's all a matter of styles, and Andries has found it difficult really to overcome the problems he has with the reach of Saleta, though Saleta's used that very well indeed, working behind the jab and then increasingly throwing combinations as it's gone on. He's just never let Andries turn it into the kind of brawl that the man from Hackney has always relished.
Nothing exciting or explosive he's done, but just everything he needs to do to beat Andries. Good boxing. He's moved well, but he's never moved that far away from Andries. He's always been in distance to counter.
Incidentally, the Belgian referee here, Daniel van der Wieler, will score along with Adrian Morgan and John Keane, who are judging at ringside. Hard to believe that they are seeing it any other way than Saleta well in front. Can't do anything to just change the pattern, can he, Andries? So as I said that, the right hand got through all right.
Yes, he's tried that punch throughout, but Saleta does very well as he turns his shoulder away from him, just takes the brunt of it on the shoulder.
Ten rounds gone, 2 to go for Denis Andries, and he unquestionably needs a knockout now if he's going to clutch victory from the jaws of defeat, as they say. Brian Lynch there, offering some words of advice and encouragement.
Got to be hard what they're trying to tell him. We're coming up to the 11th round, and Andries got to pull something big out.
His most recent title attempt was for the European title against Akim Tafer. He was quite inexperienced, and Andries lost that. Here we go then with round 11. 2 rounds to go, with Denis Andries, the 3 times WBC World Light Heavyweight Champion, a long way behind on points here against the up-and-coming Pole Saleta, who's based in Miami in the red shorts.
And he's still trying with that big right hand, but again, no success.
He's never really managed to wobble Saleta when he has got through, has he?
He hasn't, and he hasn't put him under any sustained pressure. Saleta, if Andries has come with a couple of big shots, it's just slid along the ropes and straight back to what he does best. Sticking that long jab in Andries' face.
Well, it's been a disappointing display, really, from Denis Andries. He's never managed to solve the technical problems. Have the fires gone out for Dennis Andries, do you think, this late in his career?
I think on this performance it looks as if they have. He hasn't been able to pick himself up. I know it's been very difficult with Saleta being so tall and having the range, but still Andries of old could always put a big flurry and could really drive himself on, and he hasn't yet managed to do that.
Starting to land with some head punches in this round, in this little flurry, Andries. Saleta there just letting his gloves drop for a moment, as he did in one of the earlier rounds. I think it was the 7th where he just went off the boil a bit. Andries, being the experienced old pro that he is, just sensed that Saleta had dropped off the pace and stepped it up himself. Can Andries produce a sting in the tail? The bad moments have passed for Saleta in this round. Well, he's got 3 minutes to rescue it. And it looks well, not so much mountainous, north face of the Eiger type of task for him now.
Certainly is. He's got an awful lot to do. He's got to find that big punch. Just through that right hand continuously through the fight, but never has it landed with any force.
Last round, Andries did have a good little spell there. Right hand. Yeah, one or two others as well, weren't there, Glenn?
There was. He had a couple of a spell after that when he just kept rolling on and hitting Saleta with a few shots. And Saleta still managed to finish the round quite well and got his jab going again.
Touch gloves for the last round. 12th round with Saleta in a commanding points lead, you would imagine. So Andries suddenly light on his feet, dancing, trying something a little bit different. At least he's looking fresh.
Yes, he's looking fresh and he's throwing that jab. He's just dropped his hands as well as he's using this relaxed style for the last round.
Oh, right hand. Good shot from Saleta. Sent the sweat spraying off Andries' chin as it landed.
Yes, it looked as if Saleta was looking for someone like that. You know, he just puzzled out. He didn't throw any shots when Andries dropped his hands and started to dance about.
Oh, right uppercut. Great shot from Andries. Saleta has taken it well and showed there that he's got a bit of a chin, because that was a good punch. It was probably the best punch that Andries has thrown all night. And here he is, looking to come on strong in the 12th and final round. And giving Saleta some bad moments there. Again, he looks for the right uppercut.
Yeah, very good right uppercut. Good right hand.
Saleta staggers across the ring. Surely Andries can't pull this back now, can he?
Very tired as well.
I think he wants to hear that final bell now. Saleta, it's been a comfy ride for him for the most part, but not now. Not in this last round. Andries catches him again, and suddenly Saleta is looking easy to hit. Well, this is an interesting finish.
It is. Andries has come to life, but he should have done this 4 rounds earlier.
Looks like it's going to be too late. As Saleta got over the worst of that mini crisis that enveloped him in this last round.
He's come back with a couple of shots of his own, but he still looks tired, still looking to hold.
I'll tell you something, he's glad there's not a 13th round there. He must have won the fight, Saleta. And Andries is going around the ring there, holding his hands aloft on the far side, but I don't think there can be any serious argument about who won that fight. Well, it suddenly got very interesting in the final 3 minutes, that. Just for a moment, you wondered whether Andries was going to cause a sensation right at the death. So the three people who will decide officially the margin are Daniel van der Wiele, the referee, plus the two judges Adrian Morgan and John Keane. We think that Saleta has won it, and won it pretty big. We'll find out. These are always agonizing moments, of course, for the fighters. But quite honestly, you'd have had to be reading a novel or something at ringside to see it any other way, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think you'd have to be asleep, and I think Saleta was in control for the majority of the fight. He did everything that he had to do. He was obviously very tired in the last round, and he's had a little good spell, but barring that, it was all Saleta.
Just a delay while the scorecards are collated, taking a wee bit of time. Saleta thinks he's won. I don't know whether he's got any kind of inside track. Mike Goodall will tell us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Referee Daniel van der Wiele scores 116-112. Judge at ringside Adrian Morgan scores 116-112. Judge at ringside John Keane scores 117-113. All in favour of the winner and new WBC International Cruiserweight Champion, Przemyslaw Saleta.
Saleta has won it.